Alright fellas, now after seeing the performance of Teofimo Lopez against Ortiz, it had me thinking, what is going on? We all know him for his Fortnite dancing, backflipping, and basically becoming undisputed, being kinda not all there in the head.
You not got any quotes of your own?
I do have one. I just made it up yesterday. I think it says, aim for death, for that's where life begins.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And most of all, being very, very incredibly talented. So that made me wonder, how has Teo gone from fan favourite to a borderline laughing stock of boxing, which the only thing saving his career is the judges? Now, one thing that shouldn't be denied about Lopez is just how talented he is. If he set himself up right, he'd be easily one of the best boxers in the world right now. But currently, he just isn't. His record on paper, 20-1, is a fantastic record, having those statement wins over Lomachenko and Josh Taylor. Especially after the Lomachenko win, he just looked unstoppable, looking like the top dog out of the four kings. However, this was shortly lived, and the loss of Kambosos being a massive wake-up call, which I'm unsure he fully accepted. The Kambosos saga is worth a video on its own, but it basically lit off a flare showing there are major problems within the Lopez camp. Following this up with an average win against Pedro Campa and then a debatable win over Sandor Martin, which included Lopez being knocked down basically twice, had people thinking, is his career on the way out? Yet a massive statement win over Josh Taylor turned the crowd to think that the old Teo was back. The talent and skill was back. Yet seen with the Ortiz fight, that's just probably not the case. So many issues which plagued this fight with Ortiz have plagued Teo for multiple fights now and put his future at absolute jeopardy. One such issue is clearly his team. Lopez Sr., a figure who's been instrumental in shaping Teofimo's career, has an aggressive approach and has bold predictions which have both often made headlines. However, insiders and fans alike question whether this family-driven pressure cooker has started to impact Teofimo's performances and mental well-being. For Teo, navigating how to deal with his father has become a bit of a public spectacle. The intense involvement of his father, while beneficial in terms of loyalty and understanding, often blurs the lines between personal and professional, potentially isolating him from the broader perspectives and necessary changes needed. While the type bond is admirable, Senior slipped up many times, such as the corner advice he's given Teo in the Kambosos fight, with most people saying he was drunk.
That's why I said, time, take your time. Bro, the right hand is working. Finish him already. What the fuck is going on? Okay? Okay? Another thing, the further you are, the worse it is for you. You gotta walk him down. Water!
Now, has that quality of advice improved since then? Really, who knows? Additionally, Senior is often seen trying to be in as much of the spotlight or more than his son, which really isn't a good sign of egos being in check. Comparing Senior to, say, Bill Haney, you see a pretty stark difference. While Bill is not perfect, usually he does everything to the absolute benefit of his son. Not saying that isn't Senior's intent, however, it hasn't always panned out like this. Bill keeps Devin in check and ensures his mental is good as well as his physical, whilst the same is debatable around Teo. Now the next point comes in terms of his style. Is his style world class? Yes. Does he have amazing defense? Skill wise, yes, although there is some holes. However, it's clear that the second he has to chase a fighter, he's in a bit of trouble. We really first saw that in the Kambosos fight, where Kambosos went on a bit of a jog. Teo was reaching for shots and was getting frustrated in the process. In the Martin fight, we saw this to a further extent. Now with the Ortiz fight, it's clear what his kryptonite is. Ortiz was on the jog most of the fight, and simply Lopez couldn't handle having to chase. He didn't know what to do. Yes, it wasn't a visually entertaining fight, but it was smart boxing by Ortiz. Lopez clearly didn't have the ability to cut off the ring, or just plainly refused to even try. Instead, he kept trying to chase and square up, where most of the time he either missed his shots or was met with the check hook. With both of these things making Lopez frustrated to the point where he was standing in the middle of the ring after a round yelling at the ref. That is exactly what Ortiz wanted. He wanted Teo mad. He wanted Teo to make mistakes and to capitalize on said mistakes. Personally, I think Ortiz won the fight, and whatever judge scored the fight 117-111 was honestly smoke and crack. As boxing scored round by round and not on entertainment, I think Ortiz did enough to win that, and the top-ranked judges absolutely saved his ass. I won't do a round by round breakdown of this honestly boring fight, but I think Ortiz simply won more rounds. There is an argument that boxing is not won by running, and that's a pretty simplistic view. I think Ortiz made Lopez look stupid round after round, simply winning more rounds. A 115-113 scorecard Teo's way is still a bit of a robbery, but at least they could probably justify it. But now it puts the future in a pretty interesting position for Teo. Where to go from here? First of all, Teo really needs to ensure that he's stable and almost impossible to irritate, because this has been a major issue through the last few fights. What else will be a major issue is opponent selection. Who to go for next? Well, if I was Teo, I'd want to stay as far away from Haney as he possibly could. He just can't risk fighting someone who fights on the outside again. The other options include Garcia, which he may win against, but he's fighting Haney. Prograis is with Matchroom, Haro's with Matchroom, and potentially a Barboza Jr. fight. He's called for a contract, so that's a potential fight. Or maybe even a Taylor rematch. Let's be honest, he's not boxing Crawford anytime soon, and if he does, I just don't want to see that. But I think the one thing we can say for sure is the future for Teo will be interesting. His career so far has been a clear example of a rollercoaster ride, and I just don't think that's going to change anytime soon. But hey, I like him as a boxer, so I hope he bounces back. Let's see what happens.